and welcome back to Lantern Creek Farm. We are in the Lantern Creek Farm rabbitry here. We have 7 rabbits all together and 6 in here. We've got 3 does that are getting ready to give birth. One is Clover. She is our Flemish Giant rabbit. And then we have 2 mini Rexes that are getting ready to give birth. It's kind of neat because we've got all new breeding stock besides our Flemish Giant. But she is bred to a buck that we've never had babies out of. So it's kind of going to be exciting to see what we're going to get. It's going to be all fresh and new. So today, guys, I wanted to talk to you about a few things. Mainly, I wanted to talk to you about when to put in nesting boxes. So if you've seen our last video, I made a video on how we use these nesting boxes here. But what I wanted to talk about is when you want to put these in. Now, every doe is going to be different. I have does that want to eat the hay out of the nesting boxes, and then I have does that don't even touch the hay in the nesting boxes as long as you give them extra hay on the side. So I've put nesting boxes all the way up to like 7 days, and then I've put nesting boxes in the day of. So it depends, but typically people are going to say 3 to 1 days is usually what they're going to say. I usually put it in about 2 to 3 days, or I like to put it in about 2 to 3 days before we have babies. If you've never bred the doe, you're not going to know for sure, but you can put the nesting box in, 3 days before, and if she starts eating the hay out of it, then maybe put some more hay on the side, and if she continues, then maybe just put it in the day of. A doe's gestation, the period that they are pregnant, is anywhere between 28 to 31, 32 days. So how we keep track of that is in my phone, in my calendar, I put the day the doe was bred. I count 28 to 30 days. I usually mark about the 28-day, 29-day period on my phone and say due date. And then I count 3 to 2 days back and say nesting box day for whoever it is. So here's the calendar. I put due date. I put nesting day, nesting box day on the calendar. That way I have a reminder. It dings on my phone in the morning. So when I get up, it's on my phone, and it reminds me that I need to put the nesting box in. So what do we do for nesting box material? We use hay. I've heard of other people using different things, but you're typically going to want to put hay in there regardless. If you do like a different bottom, if you do like a paper bottom or something like that, that would be fine. But you do want to make sure that you're putting hay in, because once the babies start moving around and fiddling around, a lot of times they're going to start eating that hay. Obviously, if you've raised rabbits before or you know anything about breeding rabbits, babies grow very fast, very quickly. They start eating pretty quickly after they're born. So how many times do we clean the nesting box? I usually clean the nesting box 1 time before I take it out. So I put the fresh hay in. I let the babies get to about a week old. When they get to about a week old, I clean it out. If there's any hair that's not like matted or covered in doo-doo or pee-pee or anything like that, I'll put it back in there. But a lot of times the hay and the hair is ruined and soaked in urine. You can save some of that back. It might be better to save some of that back, but I've never had any issues with in the times that I just had to take the hay out. But you want to try to save the hay or the hair if you can. But if you can't, then just put fresh, clean hay in there. The reason for that, one, is nest eye. We've only had 1 instance with nest eye, and that was over the winter. And I've done a video on, I think it's why we won't be breeding in the winter. I'll try to link it. I'll pop it up here somewhere. But nest eye is a big thing. It's something you got to stay on top of. And that's going to be one of the main reasons why you want to change the bedding in your nesting boxes, because they will get dirty. And they're peeing and pooping in there where they're laying. And so you want to clean that out. That way you don't get any kind of infection in the eye. When do I take the nesting box out? I typically will flip the next nesting box out over on its side when they start getting out of the nesting box. And usually I will leave it in for 3 to 5 days after they start getting out of the nesting box on their own. That way they just have home base. They have something that they can run to and go to. And they'll come out, they'll nurse on mama, and then they'll go back into the nesting box. So guys, that was quite a bit of information and a lot of talking. I didn't do a lot of moving around. So I hope it wasn't so boring. But I really wanted to go ahead and talk about those things. I've talked about them on different videos here and there, a few of these things, but I haven't really made a whole entire video about it. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm not an expert, don't claim to be an expert, but I wanted to go ahead and, just let you know what I know, just to be helpful. And there's people that are a community in this channel that know a lot more than me, and so if you leave a question down below that I don't know the answer to, somebody could probably give you an answer. So I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all hanging out, and hopefully we can see you on the next one. We'll see you later. Bye.